She'll be giving us a little bit more background information about this book, Lockdown Behind the Mask. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Shaista.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Mariam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, shukran, and yourself.
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing so well.
MashaAllah. Right, so the book, Lockdown Behind the Mask, it will be officially launched on Saturday, but give us an overview of what readers can expect from the book. We do understand that it's a collection of stories from women of different backgrounds.
Yes, so as you know, COVID has been a very disruptive year in all our lives. And during the lockdown period, we were actually forced out of our jobs to stay at home. Our kids were at home with us. So a lot of the time, it was the novelty of having all this free time or spare time. And in that period, I think 18 like-minded women, and now that I've actually gotten to know them a little bit, have taken this opportunity to embrace the ad that was placed on Facebook and say, you know what, let's go for it. Let's try and write a short story. Some of us were fictional, some were non-fictional, about the experience of lockdown. And through our submissions, a book was compiled by the two editors, which was Rashida Khan and Jean Veratang. And we came together to form this book called Lockdown Behind the Mask. So it's 18 of us, and it has the Islamic signature, the stories. So that was the kind of ethos that we were going for, the genre of the book. And alhamdulillah, we've got something that's amazing that we've put together. Our hearts and souls were poured into it. It's going to be launched on Saturday, the 7th of November at Kurtaba.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are these stories from ordinary women, or are they professionals involved as well?
No, so it's only 4 that were actually previously published, 4 authors, and the remainder of us, if I got those numbers correct, were all first-time writers and first-time authors. And apart from doing blogging and poetry for myself, this was the very first time that I had penned something for 5,000 words, and it took a lot of time, a lot of thought. The whole editing process, we've learned a lot in terms of grammar and editing. So it was a very good growth process in skill development for each one of us as ladies as we went through the whole publishing and the selling of books, the putting together of the book launch. We've learned a lot in this time. But also what it made us realize is that all the time that we had that we thought was in abundance was actually used for something so good. And had we focused as individuals on the positive outcomes of COVID, this would really be a highlight for the 18 of us, because we've managed to do something had we not had the time to do before. We've never tried to be creative in this way before, and something wonderful came out of it.
Mm-hmm. Renat, tell us a little bit about your piece without giving away too much information.
Sure, no problem. So, personally, I am a transformational coach. So I meet tons of people along my journey of coaching, be it married couples or individuals. And what I took from that into the fictional piece that I wrote was a story about how the financial strain of COVID had been burdened on a marriage of 2 people who had married very early on in their lives. So it's all about their journey and how they navigated now being together. Remember, we were having cabin fever with a lot of couples. And also you realize that in the rat race of how we actually live, how much do we actually communicate then to each other? So now having all this time on our hands as married couples, as living with a spouse or living with a partner at home, you tend to talk a lot more. And then things come up where you see how this couple navigates their way through being together under this financial strain, having kids with them in the home, and then also a self-realization of themselves as individuals. So my story was based on a very practical and a very real situation that I was exposed to through my coaching. And I sort of penned it that way. And if you do get a hold of the book, which was published by Africa Impression Media, so they are publishers from Durban, you will realize that this anthology was bringing together very diverse aspects and and points of view and actually experiences from us. We were
Mm-hmm.
all very differently affected. Some of us more privileged than others, and some of us with less challenges. So it was actually a very wonderful read for me to see what the other authors had actually penned, and to actually get that moment to absorb, wow, this is actually how some people felt during this time, because
Mm-hmm.
we weren't exposed to human contact and social connections were lost along the way. So getting real was what this book actually made it seem for the COVID experience.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us about the launch that will be taking place on Saturday.
Okay, so there's two official launches. It's on the 7th of November at the Kurtuba here in Johannesburg, and on the 21st of November at the Old Women's Prison in Pietermaritzburg, my hometown actually, coincidentally.
Mm-hmm.
And all the proceeds of our book sales will go to an NGO which is situated in KwaZulu-Natal called the Valley Trust. They are actually an organization that provides caregivers, so 2,000 caregivers from rural communities with the proceeds that can help them with their skills development.
Mm.
So that's actually a really wonderful outcome of this, because as we know, the sufferings and the struggles and the challenges that many homes have faced, many people, and I imagine couple strain where two salaries were affected. Here we're talking about single women and single men who had actually had to run their homes and now have suffered such a financial loss. So this is really was a very good gesture, I think, by the founders of the anthology, which was Lockdown Behind the Mask, which is Rashida and Jean, to
Mm.
donate these proceeds, because we're actually doing good by giving back to them and enabling them to live a bit more quality lives.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Well, that's a great initiative. So, have the contributing writers also agreed to have their royalties donated?
All 18
Mm.
authors, the proceeds will go towards the Valley Trust. As I mentioned, we have got a publisher, of course, and then our event, which is our book launch as well. There's going to be strict protocols of COVID. There's restricted numbers. So we're really trying to do it by the book, as they say, in terms of launching the book, getting exposure on social media.
Mm.
And this is where our interviews, and thank you so much for having me, come into play, because the more books we sell, the more we can actually help these community members. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Tickets are priced at 200, am I correct?
So for 200 Rand, it's actually for two people with one book given to the couple. So whoever, it's two friends, they'll get one book for their ticket. They'll be at the launch of the book at Kurtuba. There will be individually wrapped snacks and waters, and we've got lots of sponsors on board. So a really wonderful day out. Enjoy meeting the authors, getting your book signed, just getting an idea of what people actually went through COVID. It will be a very amazing storytelling experience, and
Mm.
I think worth attending. And inshallah, thereafter, our books will be sold by individual authors as well as placed in certain bookstores. So just keep an eye out on our social media handle, which is Lockdown Behind the Mask, where all details in the upcoming few weeks and days will be published, inshallah.
Inshallah, I mean, well, we unfortunately could not get a copy of the book yet because of the launch, which is still going to happen. But we do look forward to reading the book and the stories from the contributing writers there. Good luck to you and the rest of the women.
Jazakallah so much. I think, if anything, it's just inspired more people to put pen to paper and pen their thoughts. And as a coach, we firmly believe that is one of the best ways for emotional wellness. So if anything from this conversation and from this launch of this book is ordinary people will start dreaming extraordinarily.
Mm. And I'm glad that people have chosen to do something like this during the lockdown because um, you can put your skills to use. If you're not a writer, you can learn a new skill as well, and who knows, you could become the next best-selling author.
Definitely. I think, if anything, what we've learned is, even if we were not so confident in the starting of the process, this has actually grown us in wanting to pursue something for our futures in writing as well as
Mm.
authors.
All right, shukran so much for your time and good luck with the launch.
Jazakallah so much, Mariam, for having me. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. That was Shaista Token, one of the contributors of the book Lockdown Behind the Mask, which will be taking place. The official book launch will be this Saturday, the 7th of September at Cordoba in Santon. Let me just share with you some more information regarding that. It is 200 Rand. The ticket is 200 Rand for two people, and you also get a free copy of the book and some snacks as well. So all you need to do is all right, tickets are sold. All you need to do to purchase one of the a ticket rather is to visit the https forward slash tinyurl.com forward slash ld btm 786. That is that is the link. But if you send us a message on WhatsApp, we'll be able to share the link with you, and you can purchase your tickets. It's at Cordoba Boutique Hotel, Limoni Restaurant, 31 Second Street in Lindborough Park, Johannesburg. Make sure that you get yourself a copy. Make sure that you get yourself tickets, double tickets, which cost only 200 Rand, and proceeds will be going towards the Valley Trust NGO in KwaZulu Natal. Right, do stay with us, guys. We will be right back.
Listen